Welcome to this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. And what we'll do today, I have a couple of things that I wanted to discuss, and then we'll go through the different stages of short practices of getting grounded and centered, getting focused, then opening up our awareness, and then connecting with kindness and compassion. Traditionally, in the Sanskrit terms, kindness is Maitri, Maitri is how we spell it in English, and compassion is Karuna. And why do we separate loving kindness and compassion? Well, they do go together, but the way they go together is that loving kindness is the wish for ourselves and all beings, including ourselves, to be happy and have the causes of happiness. And karuna, or compassion, is the wish that all beings, including ourselves, be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. So they're the two sides of that. And then it goes further, the saying goes further, wishing that all beings, including ourselves, attain a peace and contentment that goes beyond temporary, conditional happiness and suffering. We could call that unconditional confidence or unconditional self-esteem. And then finally, that all beings, including ourselves, be able to go through life with more equanimity and not being swayed by the extremes of emotionality, reactivity. And, there's a pretty familiar expression that we want to be able to respond to what we're experiencing rather than react to what we're experiencing. Response has a spaciousness to it, a quality of choice. And reaction is the knee jerk that it's automatic and it happens before we realize it. So these past, oh my gosh, it's already 12 days since the horrific attack from Gaza into Israel by Hamas. And all of the reverberations of that, there's just so much suffering going on. And I was talking with some people, and they were saying how hard it is not to hate one side or the other, how not to hate people who do these things. And I said, it is hard, and it's helpful to understand where these actions come from. And if we were to walk down the street and we pass a doorway and a little kid comes running out and kicks us in the shins and runs back inside, and we have an initial reaction of anger and blame, then we look at the doorway and there's a sign over there that says home for the emotionally disturbed children. And we go, oh, this kid was not in control of himself or herself. And so we realize that we feel bad for the kid, that they have this emotional inability to regulate their emotions. And further, if we were watching a hypnotist in a show, and he hypnotized people to do something, and they did it, and we would say afterwards they didn't even realize what they were doing. If the hypnotist was kind of a nasty person who wanted to trick people, and he hypnotized them to slap the first person they saw in the face, would we be angry at the person who did the slapping, or would we be angry at the hypnotist for programming them to do this terrible this thing? And so the hypnotist in this case, first of all, most people are not in control of their emotions and are reactive, including all of us, to various degrees. And second, these poisonous ideas, misunderstandings, ignorance, hatred, fear, anger, jealousy, lust for power, greed, all of these are the hypnotists. These are what we should be angry at. And basically everyone who does these horrific things essentially are possessed, hypnotized by poisonous emotions. So the way to undo that is to start being mindful, being aware, and connecting with a heart of loving kindness and compassion. So let's get started with our practice. Take your seat, whether you're sitting on a cushion on the floor with your legs crossed in front of you, or if you're sitting in a chair, your feet can be flat on the floor, about hip width apart, where your lower legs are vertical to the ground, perpendicular to the ground, I mean, they're vertical. And if you're in a lower chair, or you have long legs and your knees are higher than your hips, you may want to just cross your feet your legs at the ankles, so that do your best to have your knees a little bit lower than your hips. It takes the strain off your lower legs and your back. And then feel your sit bones. Let your weight sink into the cushion, and just be sure that there's not more weight on one side than the other. You can shift back and forth a little bit. You can tilt yourself a little bit side to side, forward and back, and just find the place where you're centered. Nice and centered. For your arms, just your upper arms, again, can be vertical, hanging straight down from your shoulders, perpendicular to the ground. And your hands just resting palm down on each thigh. So you're not reaching forward, curling your forward, or artificially pulling your arms back. Just upper arms hanging straight down, hands palm down on your thighs. One thing, we want to feel like our back is upright. We've already centered ourselves so that we're not tilted forward or back. Back is upright. And one thing that I've found helpful is to take the spot in the center or just below center of your sternum, your breastbone, and feel like, just let that move slightly up and forward, just a half an inch, diagonally up, forward and up. And by doing that, your chest opens up, your shoulders come back a little naturally. And if you don't let your chin float up, your chin tucks in very nicely. And you'll feel your breathing, your whole chest open up to your breathing. So this is an uplifted quality of your heart, because that's your kind of heart level. You want the back of your head to feel like it's straight up and down, so that your chin isn't floating up, you aren't tilted down. And when the back of your head feels straight up and down, again, your chin tucks in a little bit. You want your jaw relaxed but not slack open. So let your lips be very, very slightly parted or very, very lightly touching, whichever is more comfortable. We're going to want to breathe in through our nose. When we breathe out, mainly through our nose, if a little bit comes out our mouth, it's not a problem if your lips are slightly parted. Your tongue can just rest naturally, or if it's comfortable. Sometimes the tradition talks about letting your tongue float up and rest, just lightly touching the upper palate just behind your front teeth, whichever is more comfortable for you. And to start with, we're going to let our eyes be gently closed. Later, we're going to open our eyes, so you're going to want to not be looking directly at your screen, but have it tilted. Either move your seat so that you're looking to the side, one side or the other of your screen, or move the screen, your device. But for now, let your eyes gently close and review your posture from the ground up. Feel your feet and legs. We want to be out of our head and into our body. So fully inhabit your body. Feel from your toes, feet and legs, connecting into your hips. Sit bones pressing on the seat. Back upright, chest raised, arms to your sides, palms on your thighs, back of your head, your jaw. Let your body do the breathing for you. Be an observer rather than a director. Let the body breathe itself. We can scan to find any spots of unnecessary tension and just let them melt. Forehead, eyes and ears. Check your jaw. Just by being aware of it, let any extra tension melt. We need just enough to keep our lips where they are, not fall open. Neck and shoulders. We're so used to having our shoulders, tension in our shoulders and raised up a little bit, we don't realize it. Just let them hang as if the back of your head and spine were a tent pole. And let your shoulders hang like it's canvas just hanging from the tent before it's pulled out. Hanging from a tent pole. Upper arms. We have tension holding our chest slightly upward, slightly forward, but everything else can relax around it. Just that move puts the rest of our upper body in position. Lower back and deep belly. Often we're clenching in our deep belly and pelvic regions more than we realize. Without losing your posture. Just let the tension melt, only enough to hold your posture. Forearms and hands, thighs, lower legs. Now bring your awareness back to your deep belly. That's where your core is, the core of your energy. In the Eastern traditions, they talk about it as the hara or the dantian. A few inches below your navel, just in front of your spine. As your body breathes itself, you can feel it expand and contract down there. It's as if your torso is filling and expanding, then emptying and contracting. Let your eyes gently open about halfway. Look down below your eyelids. Whatever direction your eyes are looking, let them look steadily in that direction, but soften your gaze so you're not looking at something, but it's as if you're seeing the space that your body is sitting in. See the space that your body is sitting in and be mindful of your posture. Let your body breathe itself. Be mindful of the feeling of filling and expanding, emptying and contracting. And thoughts may come through your mind. Be mindful of the thoughts coming and going. They may include perceptions of sounds, bodily sensations. Just let them come and go. Like birds flying across the sky of your mind. And once in a while, one of these thoughts might grab your attention and spin off into other thoughts and create a daydream. And you lost connection, your awareness of the space you're sitting in, your posture, your breathing. And that happens. Without judging, just smile and go, ah. And you can use the mental note thinking or thought, but it's code for I was lost in thoughts, I'm already back. And mindfulness practice is remembering to return to what you were doing, awareness of the space your body is sitting in. Awareness of your posture, awareness of the feeling of filling and emptying. And we'll do that for a few minutes. If your eyes have closed and you've gotten drowsy, just reinvigorate your posture. Open your eyes wider, look out further. Open up to the space. And feel the whole passage of your breath coming in through your nostrils, feeling as if it goes down to your core and then back out again. If your mind has been very, very busy, off into thoughts, back for just a breath or two. Focus more on your deep core and the really detailed feeling as it's expanding and filling to the point of being full, contracting and emptying to the point of being empty. And a little shift, filling and full, shift to emptying and empty. And we'll do a couple minutes more. Now, relax for a moment. Reinvigorate your posture if you need to. When you're ready, take your posture again. Feel your sit bones. Raise your breastbone. Firm straight back. Open, accommodating front. And look straight ahead, not intentionally upward or downward, wherever your eyes rest from the posture. And then soften your gaze, looking in that direction but not at anything particular. Open up to the landscape of the space that you're in. Open your peripheral vision side to side, top to bottom. Open to the space. And relating to your breath, connect with the out breath. What happens is, as the breath goes out, it mixes with the atmosphere, the air in the room. Use that as an image for your mind opening up, opening your awareness to the space in front, to the sides, above you, all around. Whatever you see, colors, shapes, shades of light and dark, be aware of them within the space that your breath is going out into. The breath goes out, dissolves. Let your mind go out and open. Let go. The body breathes in by itself within your awareness. But as it goes out, you open. Let go and rest. Out, open, and rest. We'll do that for a few minutes. Let thoughts come and go within the spaciousness of your mind. Let sounds come and go. Let bodily sensations come and go. Everything happening within the spaciousness of your mind. If you drift off into a daydream, when you realize that you're already back, just reconnect with the out breath and your posture. And the open spaciousness of your mind. it is this spaciousness within which we can accommodate others as well. Mind going out, opening. And imagine that your mind goes out and opens in all directions as far as the sky. If it's the night sky, it's out beyond the stars. This vast open spaciousness is what accommodates our likes, our dislikes, what we want, what we don't want. And within that, we can connect with all beings who all want to be free from suffering, who all want contentment and well-being. Raise your breastbone and open your heart. Connect with the tender heart of empathy, sympathy, caring that we all have. Feel the sadness for the pain and suffering that the world is going through, that all the beings in the world are going through. The pain and suffering that people you know are going through. Open your heart to your own pain and suffering. Imagine that as you breathe in, you're able to take away some of that. Take away some of that from all beings in the world. Take away some of that from the people you know. Take away some of your own and embrace it in your heart of loving kindness and compassion. Each breath relieves the world of a little bit of suffering. And as you hold it in your tender heart of sadness, send out the caring quality, the kindness quality. There's a little bit of joy in that we can care for others. We take away their sadness, their pain and suffering into our heart, our tender heart. And as we breathe out, send freedom from fear, contentment, well-being. Breathe in the fear and suffering of the world and transform it, and send out freedom from fear, contentment, well-being. And now go deeper to the ignorance, fear, hatred, anger, greed, lust for power. And imagine that you can breathe, as you breathe in, you can take that away from the minds of all beings. And as you breathe out, send out understanding, kindness, patience, generosity. And fill all beings' minds with those qualities. Love and understanding, acceptance. Breathe in the hatred, breathe out the acceptance. You're not filling yourself with hatred, you're breathing in and taking away the hatred from all beings. And sending out understanding and acceptance. Imagine that as you breathe in, you can take away and dissolve all the negative, poisonous emotions in the world, in all beings. Breathe out and fill all beings with loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom. Thank you for your practice. And as we started the practice with the intention that it would be of benefit to the world, to all beings, and we imbued our practice with that quality, we want to conclude it with the same attitude. So you can repeat after me or or put in your own words. May the practice we have just done be of benefit to others, even more so than to ourselves. And that's the real expression of generosity. So thank you for your participation in today's mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice.